I think it's the place where we've always been as human beings, to hold this tension between what is and the hardness of it and the darkness of it, and on the other hand, what we know to be possible because we've seen examples of it, not wish dreams, not fantasies, but we know what a world at peace looks like because every now and then that happens. We know what the sharing of abundance looks like because every now and then that happens. We know what forgiveness and kindness look like because every now and then that happens. So we have to stand in this place between what is and what could and should be. But we have to stand there without flipping out on one side or the other. To flip out on the side of too much reality is to be drawn into corrosive cynicism. This is simply the way things are, and I'll cut my deal with it, and the devil take the hindmost. To flip out on the other side toward what could and should be is to fall into an equally dangerous trap, which I call irrelevant idealism. So corrosive cynicism and irrelevant idealism sound like 180 degrees apart, but in fact they take us to the same place, which is out of the action. They disengage us from this place in the gap where we need to stand in order to move things forward. How do we stand there? What do we do to stand there? Well, I think, again, we have to reach deep inside ourselves. We have to practice the powers that open the heart, that open the mind, that invite the soul into being. And I think we have a lot of historical precedent about how people do that. It's this remarkable combination or the holding of a paradox in which we do inner work, call it prayer, call it meditation, call it self-searching, call it the examined life, which is what Socrates called it. We do that inner work, but we do it in community. The inner work is important. It's how we face ourselves. But to do it in community is equally important because we are so gifted at self-delusion. We are so gifted at hearing only certain voices within ourselves, maybe the voices that want to tell us how wonderful we are, but not hearing those other voices that say, wait a minute, you've got some things to learn here. Wait a minute, you're operating out of your shadow. Wait a minute, you're filled with anger, jealousy, resentment, and you need to drain all that away in order to be in community. It's only in community that we're going to have a chance to check and correct our own self-perceptions. And some of us do that on humanistic grounds, remembering Socrates saying the unexamined life is not worth living. That's what the liberal arts are all about. The liberal arts are a form of inner work, rightly understood. Some of us do that on spiritual grounds, believing that I'm a Quaker, and our language for it is there's that of God in every person. And the voice that I want most to hear is that voice of sacred truth within myself, which doesn't play games with my ego or my emotions or my intellect, but which simply brings me to ground.